Now, finally, and this is the biggie, if you want any further proof that Democrats are nervous about what's coming, well, God help me, they're punching the Russia button again.
The Justice Department is seizing 32 internet domains that the Russian government and the Russian-sponsored actors have used to engage in a covert campaign to interfere and influence the outcome of our country's elections. As alleged in our court filings, President Vladimir Putin's inner circle, including Sergei Kirilnikov, directed Russian public relations companies to promote disinformation and state-sponsored narratives as part of a program to influence the 2024 U.S. presidential election.
Well, that was Attorney General Merrick Garland on Thursday, but here's more from MSNBC, and gosh, they could hardly contain their nostalgic joy over all of this.
Jose, this is being described by our sources as a whole-of-government action designed to target Russian propaganda and disinformation aimed at interfering in the 2024 election. It is said to include sanctions by the Treasury Department, law enforcement action by the Justice Department, and one of the focuses is on RT, formerly known as Russia Today, that network of Russian government-funded English-language websites and television platforms that was flagged all the way back in 2017 by the U.S. intelligence community as a vehicle for Russian disinformation and election interference.
Seriously, if you didn't know RT was straight-up Putin propaganda, well, I'm sorry, but you're an idiot. You don't need the government protecting you from misinformation. You need to go read a book. And unless you think this is really about defending democracy, our democracy, from foreign interference, well, pro-Harris websites were immediately touting this as a win, not for democracy, but the Democrats. Their take? New documents released by the Department of Justice expose how Russia is planning to use Twitter to promote Donald Trump and the Republican Party. This is damning. It should tell you everything you need to know about Trump and the Republicans. Unquote. Are we really doing this again? Sorry. The last time around, the Russia hoax turned out to be a big bust, but it did the job of nobbling Trump's first presidency. And in 2020, remember, the left invoked Russia again, this time saying the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation to stop its contents, which were later acknowledged to be genuine, from derailing Biden's bid to unseat Trump. So what feels like it's going on right now feels very much like the same thing. A coordinated effort to make Russia the issue and Trump the enemy to try and hurt him in the polls in which he is supposedly behind. But again, sorry, like I have a hard time buying the Democrats suddenly being concerned about foreign interference. The Democrats seem to have a lot less of an issue about foreign interference and influence when it comes from, say, China, which has spent hundreds of millions of dollars trying to influence U.S. politics. Remember, a Chinese spy known as Fang Fang courted California politicians, and in the case of Representative Eric Swalwell, even had a relationship with him. In New York this week, the former deputy chief of staff of the Democrat Governor Kathy Hochul was indicted on a variety of charges related to China and foreign interference. And China also reportedly maintains secret police stations in several U.S. states, including Tim Walz's Minnesota. So again, I'm sorry, Democrats, spare me the Russia routine, okay? I'm all against foreign interference and influence wherever it comes from. But when it comes to the Democrats and the left, who took their COVID marching orders and increasingly are taking their views on free speech from Beijing, and their views on foreign policy and interfaith relations and Israel from Tehran and Qatar, I'm a little skeptical when they suddenly get religion when it comes to Russia. And I'm also more than a little skeptical that President Kamala Harris is inevitable either.